tour, and without wasting any of you guys' time, I'm just gonna get right into it. So before you get into the van, the first thing you're gonna see is this, which is a topographic map of Ryan Mountain and Joshua Tree, which was just one of my favorite hikes that I did when I was traveling across the country. And I thought this was a good way to commemorate that and add some cool art to the side of the van. So directly next to that is my flip-up countertop. That just gives me a little bit of extra counter space if I'm cooking or doing something else in the van where I need extra counter space. And the cool thing about this area is it also doubles as my shower. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you guys how that works. So then when you step up into the van, the first thing you see is this couch area right here. And this is kind of 3 areas in one. So I've got my dinner table right there. I've got my toilet under here. And then it's also somewhere where I can lounge when I don't want to stay in the bed or just want to hang out in a different area in the van. So my toilet first, it is in this drawer right here. So if I go ahead and pull this out, you'll see my toilet. And it is just a regular Dometic style toilet. You can open up the lid, do your business, and then you can flush it so it goes down to the bottom. It's nothing really too special, but it is convenient when you need to pee. So above my toilet is my swivel table, and this is a Lagoon swivel table. So that just means that I can pull this table out, rotate it around, and move it to wherever I need to, whatever I'm doing in the van. And then you can tuck it away when you're done. It can also come off and I can store it in the storage bin that's under here. So moving to the left from what I'll call my family room area, you have my pantry and you have my wardrobe. So the bottom half of this tall cabinet is my pantry. So the pantry actually pulls out on drawer slides, and this is where I keep all of my dried goods. And it also has a RV latch that latches into that thing right there, so that when I'm driving around, none of my food goes flying and this cabinet stays nice and closed. So directly above my pantry is my wardrobe, and that's where I keep all my hanging clothes. So that opens up like this, and then you can see all of the hanging clothes that I have. It doesn't really store a lot, but it's good enough for me. So moving past my pantry and my wardrobe, you'll see my desk area. And in this area, I've got my computer, I've got my mic, I've got my TV playing my newest YouTube video, and then I've got some plugs. And then I also have my desk chair that pulls out. So this desk chair is actually on pads so that when I pull it out, it doesn't scratch up the floor, and it also slides away nice and easily for when I'm driving so that it doesn't start moving around. So continuing on in the van, if you go past my desk area, you'll see my bed. And the great thing about this bed is that I can lay in it perfectly flat, and I'm 6 foot tall and not have to worry about curling up my knees or anything to get uncomfortable. This is a regular full-size bed, unmodified, so it's about 6'3" in length, and I'm 6 foot tall, so it's pretty comfortable for me. Under my bed is actually my fridge that extends back into my garage area. This is a 12-volt fridge, and it's a dorm style, so it opens up like this, and this is where I keep all of my refrigerated food, and it can hold about 2 weeks of food pretty comfortably in there. So closing my fridge and moving to the left is my kitchen area. So starting off over here, I have 4 different drawers. The top drawer is where I keep my silverware and other cooking utensils. The second drawer is where I keep some of my electronics and just miscellaneous stuff. The third drawer, I've yet to figure out what I'm putting in here for now, but right now I just have tools and other miscellaneous stuff. So down in this 4th drawer is just my toaster oven, my coffee maker, my kettle, some oven mitts, and then my dish drying mat. Next to these 4 drawers is this cabinet, which houses my propane tank, and then I also have my paper towels on the back of that cabinet door. I also have some cleaning supplies in here. This is where my sink drains. And this propane is in a sealed lockbox. Obviously right now it's not because it's hooked up to my oven, but this panel goes on the front and seals that in there. I also have a carbon monoxide detector just in case, but I've never had any leaks. Moving on down the line, directly next to that is this drawer, which is where I just keep my pots and pans and my cutting board. It's a nice long deep drawer, so I can fit a lot of stuff in here. And all of these drawers have cabinet latches that keep them closed when I'm driving around. Okay, so moving on to the countertop area, this is my sink, and it is a 9 by 9 inch quartz sink, and I love this thing. The only thing that I wish I did differently is got a little bit bigger of a sink, because it is kind of annoying doing dishes in such a small sink, but either way, I love it. So right behind that is my faucet. It's just a matte black faucet. I have hot and cold water. So if I turn this on, I have cold water, and then I can flip it and get some nice hot water. Also, when I have the water on, I can switch it to like more of a shower type thing. So when I'm doing dishes, that's nice. And overall, I really like the aesthetic of this sink and faucet combo. So just to the left of the sink is my oven and 3-burner stovetop. This thing is awesome. I love to cook. I didn't really want an electric stovetop, so that's why I went with this, and it's been awesome. So if you open up this glass cover, it shows the 3 burners that I can use. I can use them independently or together. So if I turn this knob, turn the gas on, and click it on, it comes on. I can use one, or I can use all 3 at the same time. It's awesome that I don't have to use a lighter, so I really, really love this stovetop. Also, the oven is pretty big. Obviously, it's not as big as a commercial oven, but I can fit anything that I need in there, so it's like the perfect size for 1 or 2 people to cook dinner in, so it's pretty awesome. So that pretty much completes the bottom half of the van. So now I'll move up to my upper cabinets and what's going on up there. So this is just a little shelf that I installed to hold some plants and a picture of me and my girlfriend. And then this is where I keep all of my kitchen supplies. So all of my upper cabinets are on gas struts, which basically just means they hold themselves up with those little gas struts right there. And this cabinet is where I keep some of my kitchen supplies, plates, bowls, coffee cups, and stuff like that. Directly under that cabinet is my magnetic spice rack, where I have a bunch of my spices magnetically attached to this stainless steel base, and they don't come off. They actually hold on very well, so I've been super happy with that so far. Next to that is just another upper cabinet storage where I keep some miscellaneous stuff, some koozies. Below that, I have my fruit hammock, and then I have my knife set magnetized to the wall. Moving around to the other side of the van, I have 3 gigantic upper cabinets on this side. The first one right here above my desk area is where I keep my toiletries, like all of my toothpaste and stuff like that, and then my shower head for when I want to take a shower. Next to that one, I have my shirts, my underwear, and my socks. It's pretty disorganized right now, but whatever. And then in this last one over here, I have my pants and all that stuff. And then I also have my Wi-Fi router that is hardwired into the van. So I get unlimited unthrottled data through that Wi-Fi router, and I'll make a video on how I do that later. And then moving back to the front of the van, I have 2 more upper storage cabinets here. This one right here is where I keep all of my coffee and tea and just miscellaneous kitchen supplies. And then up here is kind of like my junk cabinet. I keep a bunch of miscellaneous stuff up here, like winter gloves, a raincoat, my shovel, masks, some spare tools, papers, other things that I just like don't have a place for. This is where their place is. So next to that cabinet, above my driver and passenger seat, I have this storage area where I just keep some extra jackets, my hat, an extra blanket, my blow-up mattress, some other just miscellaneous supplies that I might need. And then that's my driver's seat and passenger seat. Okay, so now that I've talked about the layout of the van, I'm gonna start talking about my lights and all of the ports and plugs that I have throughout the van. Starting in the family room, I have my 120 volt outlet right here. I also have the switch for my under cabinet lights. So that's these lights under these cabinets right here, and then back there, so I can turn them off with this switch. And now they're on. Also in this area right next to all of this stuff, I have a USB-C port and then a regular USB port. And I also have my Verizon hotspot. This is just a redundancy backup for my other Wi-Fi that's back there. Just in case I don't have service, I can end up using that. Moving over to my office area. In this area, I have another 120 volt outlet that has an extension cord going below the desk, where I have my laptop docked up, my speaker plugged in, a bunch of other stuff plugged in under the desk to keep it out of the way. And then I also have 2 just regular USB ports. So also in my desk area, I have my battery monitor, and this just tells me how much battery I have left to use. And then next to my bed, the only ports I have in my bedroom area is right over here. I have 2 USB ports for plugging in my phone at night. And then I also have my light switch down there for my ambient, like warm bed lighting. So I can turn this on and off with that button down there. The last group of electronics and switches that I have is right here in the kitchen area. So up first, I have my hot water heater switch, which if I turn this on, it turns on the hot water heater that's under my bed, and will allow me to warm up my hot water, which is a 5-gallon Bosch hot water heater. And then once it's warmed up, I can turn it off, and I have 5 gallons of nice hot water. Next to that is a heavy-duty 120 volt outlet where I can plug in my coffee maker, my toaster, and all that stuff. Next to that, I have 2 more switches. The first one is my under cabinet light switches, which control the light that is right there under my cabinet area. And then this bottom switch controls the lights that are under my kitchen cabinets. So these lights down here. And then next to these lights is my main light switch, which controls my upper lights that are behind these boards. So I can turn them off and on. And then I can also dim them down with this touch dimmable switch. And then the final thing I have is my water pump switch, which is right here. And I can just click this down to turn it off or turn it on if I ever need to. So now I'm gonna show you guys how I climate control the van. And the first thing we're gonna talk about is heat. So down here under my couch area is my diesel heater that I can turn on and off with this keypad right here, or I can use the remote that they gave me to turn the heater off or on. And this thing pumps out incredible heat. It'll last for just about 3 or 4 days on one 5-liter tank of diesel that I have installed in my engine bay. So this thing is awesome. It's great for the winter. And then I also have a Mr. Buddy heater that I keep under my bed for heating. I never really use that, but that's just for backup, just in case. And then for cooling off and staying cool in the summer, I have a vent fan back here. It's a Max Air vent fan, so we can pull in and out. And then I also have another vent fan up in the front that is also a Max Air vent fan that I can pull in and out. And it turns on and it provides pretty good airflow throughout the van. So the final thing on the interior of the van is my shower area, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how that works. So this area is actually my shower, and the way it works is it's in this drawer that pulls out as a shower pan, and then my shower curtain attaches to my ceiling. So the first thing you got to do is move this welcome mat and my shoes out of the way. So I'll pull those up there just like that. So once you pull the mat away, you'll notice that there's a drain in the floor right here, and that's where my shower actually drains out. So the shower itself is actually located in this drawer that pulls out from under my cabinets right here. So if you remove this latch and pull it out, it reveals my shower curtain and my shower rod and the basin that I stand in to shower. So in order to set this up, you just grab your shower curtain, you pull it up like this, and then it hooks into 4 hooks that I have on the ceiling. And also this extends outwards, so the top of the shower curtain extends out like this to give you a little bit more space when you're in there. So once you pull this out and then hook it into your hooks that you have on the ceiling, just like this, and then I'll take you guys inside and show you how it works. So this is what it looks like from the inside when you have it hooked on to those hooks that I was talking about on the ceiling. So then if you pull the 2 curtains apart and step into the shower, you'll see that the drain on the floor right there actually lines up with the drain that's on the actual floor of my van, so that the water drains out from this pan nicely into my gray water tank. So in order to actually use this shower, you need a shower head. And the way that I do that is I have this shower head attachment that just hooks up to my faucet. So if I take my faucet and unscrew the shower head that's on the faucet and screw in my other shower head adapter, make sure it's nice and tight. So once I get this shower head screwed into my faucet, I can go ahead and turn it on into the hot setting. And then I can pull this shower head over into my shower area and take a nice hot shower. And the cool thing about this shower head is that it has its own on-off switch on it, so I can control it from when I'm in the shower and turn it on and take a hot shower, or I can turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. So it's very nice. So obviously it's not the most convenient way to shower, but it is nice to have the option to be able to use this when you do need to shower and there's nothing around. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the inside of the van. So now I'm gonna take you guys around back and show you under my bed area what's in the garage. All right, so now we're in the back of my van, and under here I have some tool storage. I've got my Mr. Buddy heater. I've got my step stool to help me get in here. I've got my extension hose that I can hook up to my water. I've got my back window covers and just some other miscellaneous stuff. On the left side is where I house all of my electronic components. So I've got my fuse box in here with all my breakers and my DC fuses back there. And then under here is my little compartment where I house all of my electronic components. So I'm not going to go into detail with what those are, but that's just where my electronics are kind of stored. So then on the right side is where I have all of my water. So I have my water fill port right here, and then I have my water drain port down there, and then my water tank and all of my water components are housed in this area right here.